Welcome to the One Shot Effect podcast. This is the 16th episode, and today we are joined by Cape Town-based singer. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Helen from Cape Town. Born here, lived here my whole life. Thank you, Felix. It's really exciting to be part of this podcast and been watching what you've been doing and loving it, and just excited to be here today.
Cool. And you've been doing singing competitions from 7 years old.
That's right, yeah.
Tell us that journey. Can you remember being on stage at 7 years old?
Yeah, I can actually. I think my first competition, I had the fortunate experience of having my father as my music teacher, and he was just amazing at giving me that the prep work of the discipline of what needs to be done, how to warm up your voice and how to get ready for the stage and how to perform. And you always said sing to the people right at the back of the hall, so it was always a wonderful, exciting experience to be part of the Cape Town Eisteddfod. And interesting fact is that my family still continued with that.
Wow.
And carried on looking after the Cape Town Eisteddfod, which has been going for over 100 years. So
it's a lot of years.
it's a lot of years, yeah. So it's been it was a really exciting time of my life, watching all the other singers and being part of the choirs. He had choirs all over the over the different schools in Cape Town, and being part of that was also cool, going and performing at City Hall and those kinds of places. So.
A very music-filled life.
Definitely, yes, definitely.
And it sounds like with your parents, they were enthusiastic about music. It never felt like a chore or some kids are like, oh, you should study medicine, and then they don't even enjoy that. But it's I'm sure you were pushing yourself musically, but not I don't know, how did you balance that?
Well, music was always just a natural thing that happened in our house. We always had music playing in the house. My sister played the cello and my father would play the piano for her. And as a little girl growing up, I would watch them, and we always had classical music playing in the house. My father was a real purist, so he never really liked pop music. But he came around to it eventually, but it was just always having music in the house, and it just became part of our family, who we were as people. Whenever we went out anywhere to go visit friends, then we had these music evenings, and someone would bring a guitar, and I would always be singing. So it's very much part of my life growing up.
I actually relate to you though, very music-filled family. My grandpa was an incredible pianist. My brother plays guitar. He's also actually a songwriter.
Wow.
He's a surfer songwriter, but maybe more surfer than songwriter. I think he just doesn't really crave that spotlight, or I don't know. There's so many people who make music that never put it out there. What's been your journey with that? And
I actually, for me, songwriting is kind of like an extension of my diary, really.
It's quite a personal thing.
Yeah, and I really started writing music for myself to get me through a really dark time in my life. Things were going really wrong for me at one point, and I had quite a big shift.
Wow.
Emotionally, mentally, physically, everything kind of happened all at one stage that I ended up actually penniless, and I was on my own in my little flats. I had to sell my keyboard.
That is depressing.
Real stuff.
That is depressing.
I know. So what kept me going was that I could write songs. I just would sing to myself, walking around my kitchen, coming up with songs. And then one day I went to go and visit my sister, and I've got 3 sisters, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any brothers or just
No, there were 4 girls in the family. Big disappointment.
My mom has 2 sisters, 1 twin and 2 sisters.
Oh, right.
There's also 3 sisters.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
It's just me and my brother. And then I have a half brother and a half sister.
Yes, yeah. I never had any brothers growing up, so just sisters. But yeah, it was one day. So I went to go visit my sister, and I sang these songs for her and played the piano, and she went, "That's amazing." And I said to her, "You know what? I really could hear some like cello here." And then she's like, "Yeah, that would be cool." So then she got her cello out and she just started jamming with me to my songs. And then we actually had a really well-known musician, Darren Peterson, who's like been doing extremely well. He actually is friends with us, and my sister had taught him at school, funny enough, and we asked his opinion, and he's like, "No, you need a like bass guitarist, you know."
Wow.
And so my other sister could play guitar, so we're like, "Vanessa, do you want to come play some bass guitar?" And so she taught herself bass guitar, picked up a bass guitar, started playing it, and then we like formed this band called 3 Dimensions, and we started performing at different venues in Cape Town. We did Alma Cafe, we did the Bay Harbour Markets. Yeah, we just like did all these amazing places and different like performances, you know, for like parties or whatever. And that's kind of how I got into it. And then when we had this body of work, I thought, you know, it's time to actually release this music and let other people hear it, because people were really loving what we were doing. And we had this really incredible sound as well that was very unique. So it just kind of took off. And I mean, they're both busy music teachers at various schools in Cape Town. So it really was more like a fun hobby for them. And then I decided in 2019 that I really wanted to do this as a solo career. And I already have 2 other businesses that I run as well. So I'm like,
the more the merrier.
Let's just take on something else. But music's always been my passion, and I always wanted to sing, and I couldn't think of anything else that I wanted to do with my life. I kind of just, something, you know, when you just like have that thing, you know, I went to school, I came home and I said to my mom, "Okay, I've been to school now, like I didn't want to go back, I just wanted to sing and dance," and like that was my thing, you know.
Yeah, I recently heard someone say it's like, when do we start playing? It feels like modern day there's so much like deep healing and stuff, but it's like, when do we arrive? When do we like play and like go back to the playing and singing and dancing, right?
That's so true, because it's so grounding, and I feel like we're often in our heads and we're always rushing around and like overthinking, and I tend to be quite an overthinker and an anxious person. And performing can also be really daunting as well. But just being able to connect with that part of yourself that brings you back to who you are authentically as a person, and you realize you're not really doing it for anybody else, you're doing it for you. But then when you see the joy it brings other people, it makes it so rewarding and so worthwhile. And then you're like, oh, I really, really want to do this, because it's just, you know, bringing more joy and more love and more, you know, more of that energy
into the world.
That unconditional love that we, I think, as people these days, we don't like have that anymore. You know, there's so much judgment and there's so much criticism going around, and I feel like the world can be a better place with a little bit of kindness and compassion, you know.
A little bit more music, a little bit less drama.
Exactly.
Have you heard of a singer called Will Lindy?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
he's doing so well.
I know, he's doing great. I love his music is so positive, and he's just so real. It's just like, you know, which is great.
For sure, yeah. I think I saw him perform when he was like 15 or like in high school.
Oh, really?
He went to my cousin's high school.
Oh, wow. Oh, amazing.
At the school called Bishops, and then this other school, Herschel, they like come together and they do this like an a cappella group.
Oh, cool.
Like Pitch Perfect vibes.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
So good.
Sure.
So talented.
Oh, there's so much talent in Cape Town. I recently was helping scribe at the judicator for the Cape Town Eisteddfod, and I was watching all the choirs, and
Wow.
yeah,
It's a
Wynberg
dream
Boys
job.
was amazing. It was just amazing, just seeing all the talent that we have in Cape Town, and that wasn't even a quarter of all the people, you know, of all the different schools out there. So it was really amazing just to see that, you know, that young people do still want to do this, that they love music, and yeah, I just love that if in any way my music can inspire anyone that's thinking about becoming a singer or doing this, you know, my word is yes, you can. My advice is go for it.
Have
Why
you always
not?
felt that way? Have like you always felt like yes, I can?
Um,
Has it been like a journey of that as well? And like, what would be advice for someone maybe starting to like learning their voice? And it's just like, just because you sing doesn't mean you have to post it online. Just because you sing doesn't mean you have to record it or perform it. And or is that important? Or you know,
Well, I think it depends on what it is that you want. If you're wanting a career and you're wanting to do this where you're connecting with other people on a broader scale, because I realized, you know, like for me, my music wasn't just about me then. It became, the moment I performed it, it became about other people because they took part of that experience.
true.
You know, like when you move someone to tears when you're singing a song, like that is just, it's just something so incredible. So yeah, you just kind of, once you connect with people, you realize then you actually want to, you know, reach people on that broader scale all over the world. And when I started my career, I realized, oh, I could actually become an international artist, you know, not just about your little world in South Africa. You know, the world's a big place. So, and because we have things like social media, I think that's also really made it bigger. You know, your stage is huge. It's international, as opposed to you just singing for a few people in a little pub somewhere. You know, so I think if you're starting out and you're wanting to kind of get into music, it is a lot easier in that you have YouTube and you can just like go and sing on YouTube, and lots of people can get to hear you sing, you know. So I think it just depends on what it is that you want. A lot of artists just want to sing for themselves and they don't want to like, you know, record
I
music.
think that's
and
kind of
all
where my
that.
brother's at. It's like
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's also amazing, you know.
there's I guess levels to the vulnerability in one's songs or what one feels comfortable putting out there. Where are you at with that? Like, or yeah, even your most recent song. What was like the songwriting process?
The songwriting process, yeah. I mean, I'm working with an amazing producer at the moment. We just have such a great, like, cool vibe, and we're just like chilled, like. So we just like sit around in the studio and play around. He'll sit on his guitar, and I'll
You
just
need
like.
to film these studio sessions. Sounds so fun.
It is so
Some
much
like behind the
fun.
scenes, like
Yeah.
POV, you're recording a hit banger.
Yeah, I actually have done a little bit of that.
Good. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
especially
Nice.
with that song, Feeling This With You. This just kind of happened by accident. Like most stuff is a happy accident when
I
you're
love
playing
the like
around.
video on the Spotify.
Oh,
like,
thanks.
Short video. I think.
Shopping in Cook Bay.
So good. I thought it was like going to the video, and then it started like, I was like, that song deserves a full video,
Definitely.
like a YouTube video.
For sure. Yeah, I'll work on that one. Yeah. But I mean, songwriting is a lot of fun, actually. You
And
know?
like that song's like lyrics, is it like, are you thinking of specific people? Like, how do you, what is that process?
Yeah.
Is it
I
a pop
mean,
song? Like, is it like, how deep do songs go to you in lyrics?
Depends on what I'm feeling at the moment when I write the song. But that song, it was just like, what are you doing when you go out and have fun, you know? And you're out with somebody that is really special to you and someone that makes you smile, and you want to spend time with that person and just go and like have an amazing time out, you
Wow.
know? And just for me, it's like going out shopping, but also just being with that person. I think that makes everything feel so much better. So it doesn't matter where you are, You can be even like, I don't know, at home or on a rock somewhere looking at the ocean, and that person is just going to make everything much more fun, you know.
Yeah, I feel like you're so good at painting feelings or pictures. Like even when I'm listening to that song, I'm like thinking of this. Even when you're describing that, I'm like thinking of this moment of my life.
True.
You have very good
That's
like
cool.
storytelling
Thank
skill.
you.
Is that like something you think about in your songs? Is like painting a picture and like empathizing for someone else? Like,
There's a lot of thought that goes into it, actually, especially with the lyrics. You know, melodies come really quick, and then you're like, great, I've got a melody, but now what am I going to say? And then you have to really kind of go into yourself and think, well, what does it feel like to me when I'm hearing this melody? And often it's about the mood that you're in. Like that day we were in a really happy mood. So like, you know, just playing around on the piano with some chords and like, okay, this sounds great, you know. And so it was easy to write about it. And then when I'm, you know, writing the lyrics and I'm describing things, sometimes I can be describing something, but then it's kind of also like, well, what do you think somebody would take from that meaning of that lyric? You know, how would that resonate with them? So yeah, it can just be, it's a very cathartic process as well, you know. Yeah.
I wanted to ask what musical inspirations would you say you have? And like how much do you listen to music, and like how much is it creating, consuming, being involved in music? It's all like
it's all the time. It's daily. It's like I'm listening to music every day. I'm the girl that listens to a song in the car and then arrives at a destination and sits in the car for another like 5 minutes listening to the end of the song. You know, I'm just listening to music all the time.
You have to arrive on the stop.
Yeah, like
time the song.
Time the song.
Give yourself an intro song. Pick up the friends.
Exactly. Yeah, music's just so much a part of my life. It really, really is in every way. Yeah, just always listening to music, always thinking about the next kind of song or like what I want to say. Yeah, I mean, I just finished releasing a song and we're busy with another song. It's like that kind of thing. It's like it's as a little girl growing up, I used to literally run around the house, and my elder sisters, there's quite a big age gap between us, so I kind of was a little bit more like an only child, you know. So I had a lot of time on my hands and I had to kind of entertain myself. And I was always singing and coming up with like all these melodies and stuff like that from a young age.
So when do you say, I'm going to put myself online? When do you say, I'm going to put myself out there? Because it's like you look at like kids today, they have TikTok.
Yeah.
They're just starting like, when I go to the beach, I see kids doing TikTok dances with like the beach is a good background. I'm like, fair. I'm like, what's going on here? But like, that wasn't your childhood, but what was your journey of that?
Yeah, I feel like for me it was more, okay, I really need to now, if I want to like get more people to hear my songs and hear my music, then I'm gonna have to like go onto social media and start doing stuff. It wasn't like I didn't grow up with social media, so I didn't like grow up going, okay, it's like a natural thing to like do like a dance on TikTok. It wasn't like a thing for me. So for me, it's just been more like, okay, I need to promote my music. How am I going to do that?
From like a business kind of perspective?
Yeah, so it's been more of a business kind of, okay, this is, and then I've kind of got into it and now I just have so much fun like coming up with ideas.
And should every artist have that social media?
I feel like, yes.
It's a tool.
I feel like it can be a really good tool. If you use it right, obviously.
I mean, this podcast was even arranged to Instagram.
I know. I feel like it's a great way to meet people. You've got to be open to things. In this day, like how things work today, you know.
True.
That is part of your life. It is. So I feel like it is an important thing to have, you know. And the inspiration that you asked me about, like I'm inspired by other artists, other people that are doing things, you know.
Any specific like famous icons, or is it's more like people you interact with?
I feel like it's people that I interact with. Also, I love looking at different artists on Instagram and like finding and discovering new talent out there,
And it's
and that
interesting to
inspires
see
me too.
what is famous and what's not. Like, just like, what are people
Yeah.
wanting? And it's like,
Yes,
because I think some artists like, oh, this is what people want, we'll just make that.
yes.
So I don't know what that journey is of like making what you think people want to hear, or like making what you want to make.
Yeah, I don't believe in making what I think other people want to hear. I've always been quite authentically me, and I find that it is a challenge because, you know, as an artist, you want people to hear your music, and you know that if you make a certain kind of music, that's going to get more plays on radio and that kind of thing. So you know that that's like at the back of your mind, but then when you start writing something, your heart just wants what it wants, and your soul just gravitates towards that kind of style. And you have to just trust that you're going to find the people that love that kind of music. It's going to resonate with someone, you know, like I've got fans all over the world, and that's what's so exciting for me, you know, to when I look at my Spotify figures and I see who's listening to my song, I'm like, oh cool, people are listening in France, people are loving it in Amsterdam. Like that to me is exciting, you know, like that you're connecting with people that are from wherever, you know, it's
Well, your sound is even more interesting to them, right?
Yes.
And I think, I mean, it's such a big thing with even just South African talent. It's very like region locked. Just South Africa is so far from the rest of the world in a big way. But I mean, yeah, you look at Tyler doing like so well, like even Will Lindley.
Yeah.
But it's like,
it's inspirational.
yeah.
Because then you think, wow, you know, South Africa's got so much to offer, and there's so many amazing musicians and talented people that haven't been discovered yet. No one even knows who they are, you know.
True.
And it does make it difficult when you do put yourself out there, because you realize you're in the same boat as everybody else. You know, like you're all kind of competing with each other in a way for airplay and for people to hear you. But I've always just believed that there's someone for someone.
I think there's enough for everybody. You know?
Exactly, you know.
I don't know if there's enough for everybody to be a millionaire, which is kind of, it feels like everyone wants that like band leader syndrome in a way.
Yeah.
But if we can get beyond that, and if people can like figure out what they really want, like why you even want it, it's like, do you want it because you want it, or you want it because you want to flaunt it, or like even are you making music for the numbers and it probably won't be fulfilling, or you making it because you want to? And I think that's even what we were saying before the podcast. Is like one of the worst things that can happen is getting successful at something you don't enjoy.
Exactly, because you know you've got to do
pleasing the algorithm, making short videos. Like it depends.
Yeah.
But do it in a way that's authentic to you.
Exactly, because if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be happy long term. You know, and that's really what it's about. I mean, fame and money and all those things, they don't really make you happy. You know, those people still have the same problems as other people. Maybe even like more responsibilities. I don't know. I just feel like so grateful for what I have and for where I've come in my journey, and for the gift that I have to make music and to be able to make myself happy that way. You know, I always kind of look on the glass full kind of thing as the glass half empty. Like I'm more like, you know, always looking for the good in everything, the good in other people and the good in the world. I don't even listen to the news because I just find it so depressing, you know.
That should be a song. I don't even listen to the news.
Yeah, for sure.
But somehow leave the word depressing out.
Exactly.
I'm so mindful, like even like not depressing is like a double negative. It's like you'd rather say is happy or whatever.
It's true, because like what we focus on grows, right?
Yeah. How much do you kind of see songwriting as like manifestations, or like, I mean, for me it's very like capturing the feeling now, and then it's like you can revisit it in later and realize, oh, that emotion exists. Someone once said, it was quite a good point. They said, like, us humans are emotional junkies. When we're happy, we want to feel very happy. We listen to happy songs. When we're sad, we listen to sad songs.
It's so true. I was actually just thinking that. It's a really, really good point. Because, I mean, not every song I've written has been happy, There's been a lot that have been sad and, different kinds of emotions that have come up. But interesting, like, that's what's helped me get through those times. When my dad passed away 2 years ago, I was so depressed. Like, it was like rough. And I just locked myself in my little room, my little girl cave that I've got back of my house, and I just wrote song after song after song. I think I wrote like 5 songs.
Wow.
And one of them was actually for him. I haven't released it yet.
Have you released the other 4? Or?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's kind of hit rate.
Yes, I have. But that, when you hear that song, for ages I couldn't play certain songs that I knew he liked listening to. Because I literally played the piano and sang for him right up until he passed away. So yeah, it was kind of, it was really hard. But knowing that I could do that for him was also really special.
And like channel that energy.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. It's like when you're feeling frustrated or whatever it might be, it's a lot of energy that needs to leave the body. And there's many ways.
Yes.
You could punch a pillow, you could go for a run, you could write a song.
Exactly.
You could listen to music. Well, I guess that's still going to add energy. But it's like important to just get it out as well.
Exactly. So that was a nice way of doing it. And then like a couple of months later, I actually performed it for like a group of people. We had like a little party and I actually got to like perform it, and that was really hard because I mean my dad used to be at all my performances and he wasn't at that one. But he was with me like in spirit, I know I felt like he was there with me in my heart. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of energy in music when you hear, there's the frequency and the vibration of music and of sound. It can be very, very healing and releasing. So it's nice to have songs that you can go, and some songs you like don't want to listen to for a while because you're like not ready to hear them again and go to that place. But then when you do, it's great. It's a nice release.
Yeah, I relate to that even just like with videos. Because like I post a lot of YouTube videos and it's like I'm like, oh, it's almost like it's very like a diary as well. Captures the energy there.
Definitely.
Yeah, not every video gets released, and it just makes me think of like different videos. Definitely can capture emotions very well.
That's so true. That's so cool. It's like a nice outlet as well, making videos and.
Yeah, it's a journey, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, what your like videos and things that you've been doing is very positive and uplifting, and
yeah, I think they really just comes from like when I'm in nature, like my cup feels full, and then it's like, well, I want to share, and it's like realizing, oh, we pick up our phones because we want to share. Like we either use social media because we want to like share, and that's a very beautiful thing, or we want to connect. That's a beautiful thing. But sometimes we pick up social media and that's what we're going for, and we get like FOMO, fear of missing out from like, or it's just like celebrities, so it's like unrelatable. It's just like you went on social media to connect, see your friends, but you're like not even seeing that.
That's so true.
Or people are not even posting like authentically from their lives, which is like you don't have to post, but then it's like, why are we even using social media? I don't know.
Yeah, that is so, it's true, because you only post, like, you can post certain things and people think, oh, you're living this amazing life, but actually you're not. Like, I think it's sometimes really refreshing when somebody posts something and says, you know what, today I'm like really sad, like I'm missing my dad, or, I've gone through this process, or this happened, And I'm not meaning like when people are venting and they're always just posting about like crap that's happened that's like really, negative. But I mean, like when they're just saying, you know what, hey, today I'm just having a bad day, and then you get that support from other people. And that's what's really cool about social media as well,
100%.
Yeah.
What has been like your journey of like support, and like how do you be a supportive friend, supportive person, and how do you, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I have a wonderful friendship circle. I must say, I'm very, very blessed, and
How did that come about? Was it always
I make friends with everybody.
it's a numbers game,
Like,
right?
I mean, I go to Woolworths and I like make friends with everyone, and they know, and they'll be watching this podcast probably, so they know who they are. But yeah, I love people. I love connecting with people and meeting new people, and so I can make friends with anybody really easily. And I love like taking an interest in their lives and like, trying to understand what makes them who they are, and what they've been through. And
Are these characters for songs?
No, I mean, I don't think about it like that.
You don't only think about songwriting.
No, I don't know. That's like kind of just happens naturally. It's like breathing, But yeah, I'm actually an empath, so I feel a lot of what other people's emotions are. And so sometimes it's really difficult because you can feel people's energy around you all the time when they're sad or when they're angry or depressed. And so it can make you really anxious because people don't always say, I'm feeling really angry. They disguise it with other things, or they're really fearful, but they're angry. And they don't say like, I'm actually really afraid of this. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job or whatever. They're like more like get angry, and they kind of direct it sometimes at you. So, yeah.
How do you just even as an empath, how do you set up boundaries and
Sure.
It's
It's really difficult, really, really difficult to set up boundaries. I tend to have to keep reminding myself, like saying no to people is really hard because I live my life in how I can be of service to others. So in my work and everything I do, if someone phones me, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll help you, no problem, I don't really think about myself. So I have to kind of stop myself in that moment and go, okay, let's just take a breath. Let me think about this. Is this going to serve my highest purpose right now? And then I ask myself that question. And if it isn't, if I'm not going to honor myself in that moment, then I need to speak up and say, actually, that's not okay. Or, no, I can't go to this event or whatever it is, and be okay with that. Because at the end of the day, you've got to be okay with yourself. No one else is living in your body and in your brain and knows what's going on for you. So, you've got to be able to have that peace of mind at the end of the day as well, So that's kind of I find meditation also really helps as well.
fair.
Meditation and exercise and, speaking to other people that are
Or
going
filling
through
your
things.
cup, right? It's like that
Absolutely.
self-care,
Yes, all those self-care things, yeah.
which I suppose is also the songwriting and singing.
Definitely. I mean, it's, you actually have to, being an anxious person, I often hold my breath a lot. So I don't know if you can relate to that. It can be really tricky. And I find that, when you have to sing,
It's breath control.
you actually have to breathe from a certain place in your diaphragm, which is when you do deep breathing, when you're doing any kind of breathing to kind of calm your body and, stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, then you're doing that deep breathing, when you're taking a breath from your diaphragm. Like if you put your hands here and you actually breathe, you're pushing out your hand when you're breathing in. And then, so that is the kind of breath control that you have when you're singing.
Okay.
So when you're naturally singing, you're doing that breath.
Wow, so
And
it's like a
so-
breath exercise singing.
Exactly. So after a full-on session, the other day, I did about an hour of singing in a recording session, and I felt literally like I had been running up a hill, it was a full-on workout.
Fair.
But it grounds you immediately because the minute you are doing that kind of breathing, you're in your body and you are here, you're in the moment, you're in the present. There's no time for thinking about other stuff or going into your head and being anxious and worrying and like over analyzing everything. You can't. You have to be there and present in the moment. So it's really, really grounding and amazing.
Which reminds me of two like really cool organizations. They're just like meditation organizations. Have you ever heard of the Art of Living?
Yes, yeah.
So like that reminds me of their like Kriya breathing.
Amazing.
And then I once did the Vipassana like 10 days.
Oh, cool! Yeah, my producer did that as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that for a singer?
Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to do it for ages.
It's hard to find 10 days.
But I think it's a lot of resistance can come up when you like think of sitting there for so long. I mean, it's hard because you like
can't run away from yourself.
No, your thoughts, all the stuff comes up. Yeah, no, I think it's amazing though.
I had like really good clarity, kind of, but I was kind of staying attached to my ideas.
Yes.
Like, you can't write things down.
Yes.
But I was like memorizing them. Like, I've cracked the code of life.
Wow.
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
But that's like the ego is just like craving ideas and like, which is fine, but it's also the whole point of it is like, ideas come, thoughts come, thoughts go. Pain comes, it goes. Pleasure comes, it goes.
Yeah.
Don't crave, don't avoid.
Yes.
Don't run away, don't run towards.
Yes.
Just like be.
Not like attaching to any of those things. I always think of like, thoughts of being like clouds in the sky, like passing by, just kind of letting them go and then going, okay, that's an interesting thought. Well, I'm not going to pay attention to it. It's like, it's really difficult to do, but it must have been an amazing experience for you.
Yeah, definitely challenging.
Yeah.
But cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was tempted to do it again, but it hasn't lined up. I think it's also quite a thing to line up the dates and feels quite meant to be when I guess you get there.
I think for me the hardest thing would be like putting my phone down and not like going near it for 10 days,
Yeah, I think you have quite a different relationship when you come back to it.
For sure.
It's hard to go back. It's like, why? You did it again, but then there's...
Yeah, that's true. When we did the songwriting workshop, it was so amazing. We went to my Australian producers. He's built this incredible studio in Nature's Valley. Have you ever been up there to Nature's Valley?
Let's bring me to the studio.
Oh, it is so amazing. So it's like past Plate, and there's this amazing place.
Oh, that's Nature's Valley.
Yeah,
okay.
like just past Plate, and you've got like the crags, and then you get Nature's, and it is so beautiful.
I have been there. Yeah, that's like trees and forest.
Yes, it is. And then like you're about 5 minutes drive from the beach as well, but you're right up in the mountains.
Oh, wow.
And there's this incredible spiritual energy there.
True, that is true.
Just so they often have retreats and they have yoga and they have all kinds of things going on there. And it was just so special writing music there, because you just felt so like, at one with everything around you, like nature, and then more in touch with who you were as well as a person. It's just
do you see like importance in changing like venues for music, or like making music in different environments?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to go and like experience different places, and also I met people from all over the place. I mean, my songwriting mentor actually flew down from Sweden with his girlfriend, his now his fiance. It's so amazing. They like met. Also, like crazy story, like amazing love story. Like I'm such a sucker for like a good love story. I mean, and the way they met was amazing. And she's sitting in Sweden. Like,
should make a song of their love story.
I think I should, like
and film them and make it about them.
Yes. Oh, that would be so special.
And it's like a gift for them.
I would actually love to do
like a wedding song.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That's a good idea.
Then you don't necessarily have to be in the video unless you want to be. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. It sounds like it can be easier to like, or different to like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like the music. If like the song's by you, does the music video need to be you? I don't know. Or how can the music video add to like, I don't know. How do you see the visual elements in songs? And it actually makes me think of your YouTube channel. And
yes.
I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yeah. Yeah, haven't been posting as much as I would like to on YouTube, but I'm like getting into it. I think it's really cool coming up with visuals. You know, I like coming up with different ideas of how I think the song should be. It can be challenging at times though to think of ideas, but yeah, it's fun. Actually, during lockdown, one of my songwriting mentors, she came up with all these incredible videos, and she put like visuals to her songs because like what else did you do during lockdown? And she just like released the songs again like that.
Wow.
And it really inspired me. I was like, yeah, this is a great idea, you know. So I kind of got into, I'm quite a visual person as well. So I kind of got into coming up with ideas and playing around with things and putting things together. And yeah.
And it's like, are you just a music producer, or then you're just an art producer? Like, I don't know, how do you define yourself, and what do you think of genres just in general?
I think you have to kind of have many caps as an artist, you know, like you are your own manager, you know, you are your own cheerleader, you know, like you are your PR, you are doing like promotion for yourself like 24/7, no matter where you are, you know, like I have my phone out and I'm like taking content, you know, like to try and engage with people so that they can see, oh, she's just a normal girl, she's like going out, she's doing this, doing that, you know. And then I get like criticized as a fan, you're like, why are you taking pictures of that again? But I think it's important that people can see, you know, that you're just you living your life, doing stuff. So yeah, you have to kind of be, and then you have to be open to meeting people and connecting with people, and yeah, you basically got to be doing it all. So I think it's quite tough. Your own manager, your own PR, your own everything.
Yeah.
And then like, what was your other question? I went blank for a moment.
We were talking about YouTube, and then we were talking about genres.
Oh,
yeah.
genres. Oh yeah, that's quite a tough one because I really love so many different genres. I'm like someone who can, depending on my mood, I could be listening to like jazz to like, you know, house music to pop to indie, you know. I love all different kinds of music. So I have such a difficulty putting myself into a pigeonhole of like, that's your genre, like, because I like so many different kinds of music. So I just kind of want to, like, the last couple of singles that I've made have really been like an exploration of playing with different genres and playing with different styles. You know, if you listen to my singles, some of them are like really different. And I feel like that's part of who I am as a person, that I'm very multifaceted. So I have all these different parts of me and I want to express them in different ways. And then that kind of is what happens when I'm making songs. So my genre at the moment is more sort of indie dance pop.
Ooh, that's a good question. It's like dance in the music videos.
Yeah.
It makes me think of this one band, Oh Wonder.
Yeah.
One of their like music videos, what they did is like they had these people thinking they were auditioning for the music video, but that actually wasn't the music video.
Oh wow.
And then like
That's
the people are like
incredible.
auditioning, and then like these backup dancers like appear from behind, and they
Wow.
like didn't know they were gonna come, and they just like continue
That's
their like dance
amazing.
thing with all the background.
That is
dancers.
such a cool idea. I might actually just steal that idea.
Sure.
I have so many dancers that approach me. I literally get messages every day. And dance has always been like one of my absolute favorite things to do.
I mean, TikTok and dancing,
I
and
love it.
I think we were just talking about like kids will like film dancing videos at the beach
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
Anywhere. Like TikTok has just made everybody dance more, maybe? I don't know.
I do feel like it's become a lot more cool to dance, you know, and like everyone can just go for it and do it, which is great.
True.
Yeah, but dance has always been very close to my heart. Like I was a ballet dancer and I taught ballet after school as well.
Wow.
So I absolutely love ballet. I did ballet and modern for like a long time, like most of my life.
Those are like small shoes, right?
Yeah.
Sounds painful. And like on your tippy toes and stuff.
Yeah, I must say it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, trying to like do all that
You learn some discipline from that.
Man, do you have to suffer through your pain and you suffer through your art.
I think a lot of people don't actually know what like ballet actually takes, or just even lots of things. But that's the magic of it. You're like, how could they do that? And you're like, I don't know if I could do
that. It taught me so much, especially like discipline as well. You know, like because being artistic, you kind of want to just like do your thing and be the diva, but you actually also have to be disciplined. And you know, you're running a business, so you have to be disciplined with your time and scheduling things. And so ballet actually taught me that, which is great.
So yeah,
ballet actually taught me that,
okay.
to be like more disciplined, and you know.
And like, how has mentorship played a role in your life?
Oh, like hugely. I kind of feel like I went through a bit of a songwriting university.
That's
you
cool.
know.
I need to go to one of those.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the biggest, like most exciting part of my whole career was when my Australian producer Mick Evans, like he said to me, "You sure you really want to do this? You want to make an album?" And I was like, yeah, I really
it's
want
like
to do
the red
this,
button.
you
It's
know?
like, are you sure you want to click the red button?
Yeah, just like
once you go
once you go, you know. And I said, I really want to do this, and he said, great. And he phoned up his friend who was living in Los Angeles at the time, Helen. And he said, Alan, you've got to come over to South Africa and hear this girl. You've got to work with her, blah, blah. And so he came down, he flew down for a week to work with me. And I'd like read this whole like thing about everything he'd done. And I was quite freaked out because I thought, oh my God, you know, this guy, he's worked with Celine Dion and he's worked with like Kylie Minogue and like, you know, Cher and all these people and like my idols, you know. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's gonna like come and work with me for a whole week, you know, like little me.
Had you worked with people for like a week period before, or like?
I had worked with Mick Evans and Rebecca Rain on songs for my albums. I had worked with them before, and now it was like adding that extra, taking it up a notch. But what a lovely man. We instantly hit it off, and he was just so down to earth and made it so much fun. And, you know, he taught us the words like that everybody uses in their songs. And he was like, no, those try and like say things a different way. You don't have to like just use those words, like go there, you know, like he gave you like a different perspective of things. Which was amazing.
I need to meet this guy.
You should come to the next songwriting workshop. Yeah, he'll be here soon, I think.
What songwriting workshops have you been involved in?
So it was that one that was happening at Nature's Valley. That was the recent one, and that's actually how I met my producer Sasha that I'm working with now. And he's got like a whole indie background. I don't know if you've heard of a band called The Plastics.
No, sounds bad for the environment. But maybe it's edgy.
So they're
probably not pro-plastic, I don't know.
No, I think that's more like... Yeah, exactly. I think that's meant to be like... I was actually asking what the...
It's his memorable name, right?
What the name means. Actually, I don't think I've ever asked him that. But yeah, they're a pretty cool band. They've played all over Cape Town. They're quite well known.
Okay, cool.
Sama nominated and all that, which is pretty cool. So I met him at the songwriting workshop, and then we just like got together, started writing songs from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much do you write songs alone? How much do you write songs with people? What is that process?
So at the moment, I'm in the studio every week. So every week we're writing, not necessarily a new song, because sometimes we're like busy mixing and finishing that song still, but we're still like adding on things to it. You know, it's never done. It's like a painting. You always think of something else you can add, you know. So it's like every week we're there. And then, yeah, I'd say like every month I'm on the weekends, I'm sort of like playing around with music. So I can't say for sure exactly how often, but I've been releasing pretty regularly. So it's been probably every couple of weeks.
I
A new
think
song.
that is better, like especially in the modern day, like releasing quite consistently. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think about like producing a whole album and then dropping a whole album?
Well, I actually did that.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually did that in 2019. I actually released a whole album. So that was...
How much longer does that take to like?
Well, we wrote 5 songs in 5 days.
Cool.
5 of the songs, and then we wrote the other 5 over the course of the next week or 2. So we finished it pretty quickly, which is great. I mean, some artists like Lady Gaga, they go and they sit for like 2 months coming up with an album, but it flowed so quickly, and we released it. And then it kind of feels like, oh, now you've released it, now what? The work begins once you've released the music. So I feel like it's easier in a lot of ways releasing a single every couple of weeks, because you can kind of focus on one song and the story behind the song, telling that story, and then putting it out there on social media in that way and promoting it. I think for me, it's a lot easier than dropping an album. And I also feel like nowadays, in the world of instant gratification,
Streaming services, people don't have to walk to the record store to buy their favorite record.
They don't have to, like people don't have to buy a record. They can just stream it. And so, like, back in the day, what people would do is they would buy a record for the song that they liked, like the one song that was like their favorite, but then they had to buy the whole record for that song. And then they would sit and listen to the record, and then sit and look at the album cover and read about the artist and everything, and that would be really cool. But now it's not like that. People will listen to like a few seconds of your song and then go, okay, I'm done with that song, I'm bored, next song. And they don't realize that the artist doesn't actually get paid if you haven't listened to the whole song on a streaming service. But it's just a different vibe. And I feel it's kind of in a way devalued music in some ways, because
it's in the elevator, it's on the way to work.
It's just like, it's easily accessible.
Yeah, I think even just radio in cars, a lot of people just listen to their own things, I feel like.
Yeah, and also some of the music that radios play is not the kind of music that
people want to hear.
Maybe want to hear. And also there's so much music out there, that you... Oh, bless you. Yeah, there's so much music out there that I feel, radios only play mainstream stuff, that there's so much more that they could be playing. And I feel like that could be another whole podcast conversation, because
it's almost like the big artists don't need the radio exposure.
No,
but it's like that's what people want to hear, I guess. So I don't know. It feels like there's not enough like small artist love. I don't know.
I just feel like there's not enough love given to the smaller artists.
When people come to South Africa, they hear American music everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
It's a bit weird.
And you're competing, and especially if you're in that sort of pop category, that genre.
The charts.
You are up against all these other international artists, which is really difficult, So kudos to those who've made it against the odds. I feel like sometimes like a salmon swimming upstream, because there's just so much involved, so much like almost it feels like against you when you're trying to...
Would you ever sign a record deal? Is that the dream? That I mean, I feel like that's evolving in the modern day. Like independent artists are more common nowadays.
You have more control as an artist, being able to release what music you want to release. I think what's nice is being able to maybe have their budget.
Like you look at Will Lindley, I feel like he's done well with like a record label.
Yeah. I think it can really work out for you, but it's not always the case. Like I have heard some horror stories of, people who've signed up with labels, and then it hasn't worked out.
True.
And they've...
even big artists, but like often big artists. Exactly. That's where the money is. So.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it just depends. If someone came along with a really good offer, I'd think about it. I definitely would.
Accepting offers.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say no, but I'd read the fine print. Let's put it that way.
Oh, you were saying that when you were singing, like sometimes people will cry. It's like then like I think it just helps people move through emotions. But it made me think of this lyric. It says, "Have you seen the people's faces when you take away their pain? That is prettier than any picture Monet could have ever painted."
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure. That's really deep. I would
I
love
left
to
out a
take
swear word
that.
there.
All right. I would love to take away people's pain. I would love to do that, you know.
And I think that's what music like for me has been like me feeling understood in like the slowest lows. And like I've always been like, wow, if I could just do that for someone else. And I've also realized like, you don't have to only do that through music, and it's like just by being the change you wish to see in your day-to-day life, you know.
Exactly. Like that Michael Jackson song, eh? Man in the Mirror. Always think of that. Like, so true. Yeah. Profound.
How do you view music? Is like in our society, like how important is it, and can you listen to too much music? And I don't know. I think like it's tricky because music can isolate in the like earphone era, but it can also bring people together in like the party era or like concert era. And then it's also actually even being a singer, it's actually being an event maker, event like actually a community builder
Yes.
more than it's a lone singer. It's very much a unifying thing.
I think it really connects people, you know. I mean, I've done a couple of charity like shows as well. I mean, the last one I did was for the LGBTQ community as well, and that I just love that I can give back, which is an amazing thing, you know, to be able to do that as an artist. But I do feel like people really need music. I feel like it's such an important thing, and it can connect, you know, so many different people from all over the world with different backgrounds and, you know, different walks of life. It transcends that really for me, you know. If I think about like the songwriting workshop that I did, there were people there from all over the world and all over South Africa. And what was amazing is that like I had to do this one rap song. And I mean, I have never done a rap song before. I was like, what am I gonna do? And I had these two guys, they spoke Xhosa, and that one guy could really not speak a lot of English as well. So his mate was, you know, translating for him as we were going along. And they wrote from the heart. Like I was in tears because they'd come from Eastern Cape and they had met all these people and made friends.
Wow.
And they were sitting in a situation in their community where the people weren't even supporting them, weren't understanding their music and why they wanted to do it. And so they didn't have the support.
Wow.
And so they came and they saw this incredible studio and this amazing vibe, and the people were also warm and welcoming, and they felt so at home, and they connected with everybody, and it was just so special. And being able to write music with them was amazing. You know, I just like said to them, right, you guys, you write from your hearts, like what it means to you to be here, you know. And we were given a theme and then we had to kind of like write around that. And then, it just came. The lyrics and the melody came for me when I was inspired by listening to them, sharing from their hearts, like why, like their experience of what they're doing. So I do believe music doesn't matter the kind of music, I feel like it can connect people from all over 100%. In a really special way. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what you said there is like the community aspect is so important. Even just like writing together, potentially, like you can really pick up that energy from others.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's a beautiful thing.
What kind of music do you mostly listen to?
Oh my gosh, so many different things. At the moment, I'm really listening to a lot of indie. Really enjoying listening to indie and. You know, like jungle and
You're gonna have to show me some specific songs.
Leisure and Cannons, like there's a few of my favorites.
Cool.
I really love listening to them.
What is jungle? Like,
It's a band.
This is going to be good music for the jungle. Or...
No, it's a band.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, I mean, I can also like easily swing to house music, you know. Yeah, so I don't know. It just depends on my mood.
Fair.
But like if I'm going to be cooking in the kitchen and I want some music to like dance to, then I'll put on like house music and yeah. So yeah.
Have you ever considered being a DJ?
Not really.
DJ and singing.
Not really. I have though been following a couple of amazing like female DJs lately. There's this
Some
one
of them
DJ.
sing as well? Or?
Yeah, there's this one DJ Danny. I'm really enjoying like watching her vibe, and she can sing as well, which is pretty amazing. And I love that whole thing that you can like sing and like have your track. You know,
yeah, the tech is crazy.
Because my Australian producer is actually a vinyl DJ.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's like a
It's
world
classic.
like renowned vinyl DJ. There aren't
cool.
many around still, but he is amazing. Like he can get a crowd like pumping in seconds. Like it's just insane. It's
That's
something.
cool.
His parties are epic.
I must be invited.
Definitely will let you know. It is like you must not miss this. It's brilliant. And we've often spoken about doing like a set where, you know, I'll sing some of my, you know, like some of the melody over my own track, you know, and that kind of thing. So it'd be very cool to like do a set with a DJ and then sing to my song, you know, like especially the new song that's coming out on Friday. Like that is like
Link in the
very much-
description.
That is very much like dance. Like
Okay,
vibes,
cool.
You know, like you want to go and have a party, you know, you'll have that in the background and it brings the vibes and yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one question and then I think it was a follow-up on what you were saying.
All right.
But yeah, how do you cope with creative blocks and like writer's blocks?
That's a good question. I kind of just changed the narrative or the landscape for myself in that moment. So like if I'm on my own, for instance, and I'm hitting a block and I can't like come up with these lyrics, then I'm like, okay, go make a cup of tea, like just go do something else for a while, you know, like go out in nature, go play with my cats, or like, you know, just go do something else. And then sometimes I even will put on other music and listen to other music and just say, you know, like get inspired and then come back and then look at it with fresh eyes. You know, you got to like know when to stop. Know when to like go, okay, today is enough. If I carry on now, I'm just going to get frustrated. But I mean, I've had to come up with lyrics in some pretty interesting situations. I mean, when I was writing the one song, we were writing songs for my album. We were sitting out in the middle of nowhere in this little studio in oh gosh, I can't think of the name now, but it
Sounds
will
amazing.
come to me. But it's up the West Coast somewhere, and it was in this little studio, and we were like sitting there, and we had all these challenges with like load shedding, like power outages for like 6 hours, you know, and then they started drilling, and we had like construction. And I was sitting there with my friend, also Rebecca, and we're like, okay, now we got to come up with lyrics. And we were sitting outside on the concrete steps, on this freezing cold concrete, with the drilling going behind us, and trying to come up with lyrics. It was just like insane. So I kind of fed off her energy a lot because she's an insane songwriter and she just comes up with lyrics. She's just so talented. She's written a couple of books. She's just amazing. So I would say, what about this idea? And then she'd be like, yeah, boom, 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 lyrics. So I think if you're working with someone else, it helps the writer's block aspect because then you feed off each other's energies. And, you know, when you're stuck, you go, I can't think of this. And then they're like, yeah, well, what about this? You know, so that really helps. But if you're on your own, it's another story.
And it's definitely a journey of confidence, just writing in general and performing in general. What's been your
Yes.
journey with confidence?
Oh, wow. Um, yeah, I've always been quite a confident person. I think the anxiety and getting over the nerves and the perfectionist thing, that's been a bit more of a challenge to like let go and not worry about how it comes out. Like, a funny story actually. When I was like 10 years old, I had to sing at a concert, and I was like super confident to perform. Like there was no problem with the confidence, but I was getting a cold, and my throat was like really sore. And my granny said, "Oh, why don't you have like a hall suite?" And so she gave me this hall suite just to help my throat. And then I went up to go and sing. And as I got onto the stage, I could feel like my throat, like my voice just felt like really weird. And then my dad started playing the piano for the song. And as I opened my mouth and tried to sing, like nothing came out. And there's like 300 people looking at me, and there's like no sound coming out. And I tried again, and like nothing happened. It was so embarrassing. So I just like had to get off the stage.
Self-care
Oh, yeah.
is important.
I can tell you I never did that again.
Like push yourself while sick, or
Yeah, I must say I don't tend to push myself when I'm sick.
so you can like empathize if like a big artist cancels a concert.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so hard to sing if you've got like a throat infection or
Some
things
people
like
push
that.
through some crazy stuff.
I know, but it's
But
it's
is it
really
then
tricky.
that's the thing, these stages get big and people are like, I have to da da da.
I mean, if I've made a commitment, I'd be really, really.
Try your best.
I would really try my best not to cancel, because I don't like to commit to something and not do it. That's just not who I am. So yeah, I mean, unless you've got no voice like me in that situation, then. But yeah, I think with confidence, I kind of also give myself all these like little pep talks. Like I listen to a lot of motivational speakers like Mel Robbins. I love her. And I like to give myself these like little affirmation things. I think that helps.
I feel like that kind of goes through the music, into the music.
It
that
does.
vibes.
No one else is going to believe in you. Like you have to believe in yourself. And that's the thing. Like she often will say in her little talks that she does, like no one is going to motivate you. Like you have to motivate yourself and believe in yourself. And sometimes that can be hard, especially when you meet with criticism and other people that don't understand or get what you're doing. But you just have to keep on trusting, and believing. And then, it happens when you do it. When you put the action in, then amazing things come from that and happen. So that then boosts your confidence. It comes in the action,
100%.
Yeah.
Almost feels like a good note to end the podcast on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there any closing thoughts from your side, or anything I feel I didn't ask?
I feel like you asked me so much. I feel like I've shared my whole life history almost.
No, I mean, that's funny because the
Yeah.
runtime is longer than the album, potentially.
Exactly.
It's for the dedicated fans.
Yeah,
Listen to
for
the
sure.
end.
Because, I mean, we know the attention spans are short these days. But, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me and for welcoming me so much onto your platform. I really appreciate that. I really love what you're doing. I think it's really inspirational and positive, and the message that you're trying to get out there, I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
So I feel very grateful. So thank you so much for having
And
me.
you even brought me biscuits. I forgot about that.
No, I don't know how you could have.
Should show it on the camera. Biscuit.
Yes, these are the best biscuits ever. I actually buy these from a lady who makes them. She's got a little bakery. I love
my
supporting her. Yeah, these are coconut biscuits.
Wow.
Best shortbread coconut biscuits ever.
10 out of 10.
Thanks.
Also, one final question.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like you are a voice, and do you feel like do you think about like how you inspire and touch people and influence people, and do you think like, do you empathize like where someone might be when they're listening to your music, or like How do you see like even just musicians as yourself as a voice, even potentially more than presidents of our countries? Like people probably spend more time listening to their favorite singers than their presidents, you know?
Wow, I never really thought of it like that, I must be honest. Um, sure. I feel like, people can, like I said before, connect through the music with you. So I feel like I am connecting when I'm creating and I'm releasing my music out there into the world, and people are listening and they're responding in that way. So I don't necessarily think, oh, I'm making this song, like, how is this going to affect somebody else? I don't think about it like that. I just kind of make it because it feels good to me and makes me happy. And then when I release it, I think about that, like, oh, I wonder, how I can present this to someone that they can go, oh, cool, that's what she was thinking when she wrote that, or, yeah, I just want to make people happy, basically. So if they've done that, then I'm like, cool, job done.
Thank you for watching. Be happy.
Yeah, be happy.